Thank you very, very much. What a wonderful welcome in every respect except for the guy with the Yankees uniform in the front.
Stand up for it.
There he is. Stand up. Let everybody see you. There you go. I want to sell books. You're the wrong person to be here today. Anyway, it's wonderful to be here with all of you. Thank you so much for taking time to come out and share some thoughts. On the eve, not only of the Pennsylvania primary, but of Earth Day. And it's the latter that we kind of want to really focus on and think about tonight as we come here. It's a great privilege for me to be able to be back here in the city, and particularly to talk to you about this book, which Therese and I wrote together as a joint, really labor of love, in the best sense of the word, not just because we worked on it together, but because this is a topic which has been part of our lives, all of our lives, and because it is in fact also the subject that brought us together in Rio in 1992 when President Bush had appointed Teresa to be a member of the official non-governmental delegation to the Earth Summit. And I was a member of the official Senate delegation with Al Gore, Senator Tim Wirth, Senator John Chafee, who has now passed away, and some other senators. And we went there in 1992 to plant a stake, if you will, in the global Earth with respect to the issue of climate change and the environment generally. Now here we are in 2008. Years behind where we ought to be with respect to this issue. And so the whole concept of this moment on Earth came out of our mutual dissatisfaction and disappointment with the way the media handled our efforts to try to put the environment front and center in the 2004 race, and our sense that so many Americans were turned off of environmentalism as it had become stereotyped. But at the same time, there were so many Americans who were engaged in environmentalism without ever adopting the label or thinking about that's what they're doing. As we came out of the 2004 race, there were articles written, some of which even said, is environmentalism dead? And many people were deeply disappointed that subjects such as climate change and other things that are critical to us on a daily basis didn't get more leverage in the course of the campaign. Well, let me tell you something, we were bitterly disappointed that they didn't. And so we sat down after the campaign and sort of took some of the energy that we had poured into those several years and said, you know, where do we go from here? How do we translate this into something that is meaningful and that takes us to a different place? And we just believe very deeply, and I'm grateful to Public Affairs and Peter Osnos and Clyde Priddle and all the folks over there at Public Affairs for believing that indeed there was an appetite for people to think about not just sort of a tone that repeats the issues and throws a lot of facts at you, but an appetite for understanding what Americans are actually doing every day that in fact is the expression of this new environmentalism. And so this moment on Earth is an effort to try to show you two things, essentially. One, that many, many things are happening because of the efforts of these unbelievable heroes at a local effort who are translating their concerns into a remarkable energy at the grassroots level. And two, this moment on Earth is literally and truly as vital and as compelling and urgent as any words we can find in the English language to try to make it. We face a series of choices about almost everything we do that affects us in terms of, quote, the environment. And environment, particularly, if Teresa were here tonight, and I apologize that she's not, and she apologizes that she's not able to be here, but she is stuck in Pittsburgh at some meetings that literally just did not let her get out here tonight. And I know she's the more interesting, better half of all of this, so I concede. But what we really wanted to try to convey is that, this woman, Teresa, who grew up in Mozambique, born the daughter of a doctor, who grew up making rounds with him, as she would describe to you if she were here tonight, in Africa, in the bush, learning in very real terms as a young child the relationship of the earth and community around her to well-being, to absence of disease, to life itself, and who ultimately brought that over here and was married for 27 years to John Hines, Senator from Pennsylvania, and became deeply involved in the environment, was on the Environmental Defense Fund board, on the Nature Conservancy, Natural Resources Defense Council board, on the Brookings board, the Carnegie board, and has always fought to advance these efforts, and likewise myself as lieutenant governor. In fact, beginning with my mom, who was 50 years a Girl Scout leader, and who took me out as a 4-year-old on